The Kansas City Chiefs traveled to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. I'm going to break down what happened in that game. Then I'm going to break down what's going to happen in Thursday night game versus the Broncos. Welcome to the TPT Podcast.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the TPT Podcast, the TPT Podcast, the TPT Podcast.
Well, folks, the Kansas City Chiefs ended up getting it done in Minnesota in a close one. Chiefs 27, Vikings 20. A lot went on during this game. Some of the things I want to break down, some of the similar concerns I've had the last couple of games. But all in all, I feel like the Chiefs had a good game. It wasn't a lot of people, it wasn't an ugly win, kind of like the Jets, because, again, the Vikings do have some playmakers on offense. And as we talked before with Dustin on our last episode, if you guys didn't see that, go check it out. It's good to just hear if you guys are interested in hearing more about the NFL and what goes on in the NFL, plus a little bit of Vikings and Chiefs. But what we kind of talked on that game is what was Brian Flores going to throw at Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was blitzed a lot. I have the numbers right here in front of me. He was blitzed quite often, and the thing is with the Minnesota Vikings is the Minnesota Vikings, they love to blitz. They're the number one team that blitzes the most. They blitz more than any team in the National Football League. So Mahomes on Sunday versus the blitz, Mahomes' stats was 14 of 19, 135 yards, 9 first downs, 2 touchdowns, 120.2 passer rating. Absolutely phenomenal versus the blitz. Then this was him, again, when they weren't on non-blitz plays. He was 17 of 22, 146 yards. So he didn't have the touchdowns, but he had the same productivity passing-wise. And overall, a good game from Mahomes. Towards the end, they were up 14 or was it 13? Well, they started to just run the ball a little bit more, which I want to get into. But Patrick Mahomes, I think that the Chiefs' offensive line did a lot better job blocking Mahomes this game. When you give a guy like Mahomes some time to throw, this is where you're going to see these receivers start to develop. You have a guy like Rashee Rice who's playing absolutely phenomenal as a rookie right now. He has 3 touchdowns on the season. He has the second most touchdowns, or tied actually for the most touchdowns on the season with Travis Kelce. He has the most yards for a wide receiver right now on the team. A rookie that I think is really playing well right now. We had a guy like Justin Ross come in, had a big grab over the middle. He's a guy that I really want to see more in this Chiefs offense. I want the Chiefs to use him more. I really like him. NBS, well, for whatever reason, has just not been able to connect with Mahomes so far. But what I really just want to point out with that stat line is the way that Mahomes has really just been able to just get the ball off during the blitzes, the way this offensive line in that third quarter was able to get him time. I mean, in the third quarter, the Chiefs they scored 14 points to the Vikings 0. They had the ball for over 7 minutes on that drive. That's what I think kind of got the Chiefs rolling, is that third quarter when they kind of just managed the game. And I think that's a big part of the run game. They're able to do that, I think, a lot more now is because they're able to run the ball. We know that a guy like Patrick Mahomes can sit there, drop back, and throw for 45 times a game, almost 50 times a game. But Patrick Mahomes, I thought, was on cue. He was 31 of 41, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pacheco, 16 carries, 55 yards on touchdown. I thought he had another good run, played well. I think when he's the type of guy, if we can give him more over 20 carries, he's going to start doing some damage. Kelce gave us a scare. Kelce absolutely gave us a scare when he had that injury. It was a non-contact injury. So I think for me, I was a little scared because you have a guy like him, and when he goes down, the Chiefs would be in big-time trouble, which, again, I'm going to get more into going off of some of the receivers and stuff like that. But just again, the way right now, if you had a guy like Kelsey go down, that's what really troubled me. He came back in, had a great game, was able to get the Chiefs a touchdown, and big first downs. He had the big catch over the middle and fell down. But I thought the Kansas City Chiefs, again, they had a good game. There was, I think, what could have really broke this game open for them was at times they got a little too cute with it. They got just, again, I feel like they don't go at people's throats enough. Like, go at people, man. You're the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think the problem with that this year is there's no deep threat down the field. And that is one of my biggest concerns that I'm taking away from this Vikings game is the Kansas City Chiefs right now have to go find somebody that can stretch the field. MBS has just not been that guy. The Kansas City Chiefs have to go get a guy that they can get the ball down the field. Again, like I said, Rice is playing fine. Sky Moore, I'm still up in the air about Sky Moore right now. He just hasn't been able to show me through this many games that he's the guy for the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, you got guys that's, again, been there, MBS, like I just mentioned. You have Justin Ross, who I want to see more of. Justin Watson has played absolutely phenomenal. He's kind of been our deep threat guy. But you can't rely on a guy like Justin Watson, who's primarily a special teams guy, to be your guy that can stretch the field over 20 yards. We've only had a couple plays. I think it's only been 2 plays this season where they've had it over 20 yards. So that was one of my biggest concerns. Again, typically it is the offensive line. Juwan Taylor was not a problem. I thought the Chiefs' offensive line gave Mahomes a lot of time to get the ball out, have the receivers, and get out, boom, quick throws. And it's kind of a different offense as right now. It's kind of going back to the Alex Smith days. We're kind of just boom, boom, boom. We're just getting the ball quick. We're not really holding the ball. We're not really just looking downfield to just throw downfield. But again, it's more of an offense where it's underneath. We're getting to Kelsey, and then we're running the ball. Pacheco has been running the ball very, very well. The only guy I really have a problem with is Clyde. Clyde is not coming in and being a good RB2 running the ball. He's doing a pretty good job receiving the ball. He's got to be better running the ball as the running back too, to take some loads off of Pacheco. So again, by the end of the season, you still have a guy that's fresh and ready, especially the way Pacheco keeps turning his feet and just goes straight at people, kind of like a Marshawn Lynch back. He kind of has that patience of Le'Veon Bell too. But my hat goes off to Pacheco. He's been playing so well this early season for the Chiefs, and I think that's a big why with their success, because the Chiefs defense, again, shout out to the Chiefs defense. A lot of people, again, thought the Chiefs defense didn't play very well. Others, they played great. I know one thing's for sure. They absolutely shut down right now. They shut down Justin Fields. Trent McDuffie has been the highest graded corner on PFF so far this season. And let me tell you, L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie absolutely shut down Justin Jefferson. He only had 28 yards on 3 receptions. Kansas City Chiefs defense is by far playing top 5 defense of play right now. Absolutely phenomenal from Chris Jones, McDuffie. We don't even have Charles Omenihu or Nick Bolton yet. I can't say enough about this Kansas City Chiefs defense. This has been by far the best defense Patrick Mahomes ever played with. This is why I think it's so important for these Kansas City receivers to start improving and start messing with Patrick Mahomes. Because if they can get it going on offense, the way this defense is playing, the Kansas City Chiefs could potentially win out the rest of the season with their toughest games coming up: Miami, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, and Buffalo. After that, it's kind of a cakewalk. You don't have too many teams that's going to be a threat, maybe possibly the Chargers. But again, if the Chiefs defense keeps playing like that, I don't think there's a team in this league that can hold them when you're holding every single team you've played under 21 points. And some of you may be saying, well, yeah, you played the Vikings, and the Vikings aren't that good. The Vikings have playmakers on offense. And, yeah, the Vikings are kind of a train right now. They just lost Justin Jefferson for a month now. Who knows if he even, tries to come back during the season. Because by that point of the season, it's going to be week 11, week 10, and they're going to probably only be a 2-3 win team by that point. So who knows if he still wants to, play for a team that, again, is just not going to really do anything. He just wants to kind of rehab his body, depending on the type of injury. But again, I know he probably would want to be out there again. But they're just a team, again, that just things have not really went their way. Last year, everything went their way. This year, nothing's really going their way. I still think they have talent to put on their team, but they just have a gauntlet of the schedule coming up for this Minnesota Vikings team. So it's very tough. And like I said, I think the Chiefs played a very good game versus Minnesota Vikings team. Again, I thought all three phases, except for actually, no, you know what? Special teams I thought played pretty well too. All three phases I thought played pretty well. Again, the only one I thought that didn't play as well would be our offense. And a little bit on defense is just, again, knowing when to blitz and just executing on third and fourth down. We did a very bad job of executing on fourth down. Now we're going to move on to something all the whiners have been whining about. I've seen it, guys. Chiefs are cheaters. The refs love the Chiefs. That was holding. The Chiefs get all the holding calls. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah. Play your little violins. The Kansas City Chiefs are a good football team, and they've been the most dominant team the last 6 years. That's why you guys don't like the Chiefs. There's no way you guys believe in your head that the NFL goes out of their way to make sure the Kansas City Chiefs win the football games. They're a good team, ladies and gentlemen. They find ways to win. Yes, there's going to be games where refs miss calls. Chris Jones gets held all the time. He really does. But you guys are trying to say that the Minnesota Vikings could have won that game because Jerry Sneed took off his helmet. Would have been a 15-yard penalty. You would have probably only got 5 to 10 yards anyway, because the Chiefs ran it 3 consecutive times on that drive. They would have passed it and tried to pick up a first down, probably on first down, taking a shot downfield on 1st and 20, 1st and 25. They would have passed the ball. They would have actually looked to not just kill the clock at that point. Like they were before the previous drives, just boom, 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 first down after first down after first down. But when you got people basically saying, again, you're trying to take away from the greatness of the Kansas City Chiefs, is the problem is people hate winners. They hated the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. They hated the Bulls. Everyone hates the Warriors now. Everyone hates teams like the Lakers, the Cowboys, Alabama, Duke, Kansas. They hate these teams in all these different sports I just named because what's the common factor? They win games. Just like how the Patriots were, how everyone hated them, again, and said the refs gave them every call because, again, guys, the Chiefs find ways to win. There's no way in your head you think that call at the end of the game on Sneed was an actual PI call. First of all, I think it was Jordan Addison. He didn't even make effort to go back towards the ball to go get that ball. He didn't. He absolutely didn't. Okay? And then you guys want illegal hands to the face and all this. He had him up in his shoulder pads, guys. He had him up in his shoulder pads. And you guys slow-mowing these videos down and pausing pictures. Guys, it's a paused picture. You can make any picture on the field that's paused, make it look like a penalty. But you guys are slow-mowing down these videos down to the last minute detail. Well, guys, guess what? The refs, when they're looking at the play, they don't have slow motion. They're looking at it game speed. And that was absolutely not a flag on L'Jarius Sneed at the end of the game. Again, the reason why the Minnesota Vikings couldn't get done was clock management by KOC. Kevin O'Connell had horrible clock management, and that was the biggest reason why the Minnesota Vikings could not win that game. Going into the fourth quarter, they had 0 timeouts. 0 timeouts. He had a blatant catch by Kelsey, calls a timeout. You had another one where, again, you're just trying to draw the team off the sides, and you call another timeout. And then, to top it all off, when the play clock is winding down, you call another timeout instead of just taking the 5 to 10 yard penalty. I thought it was very, very bad clock management by the Minnesota Vikings. And I think that was a big reason because the Kansas City Chiefs absolutely owned that third quarter from the Minnesota Vikings. So that's really all I have for you guys from that Minnesota Vikings game. What I liked was, again, the run game continuing to improve. I liked how our DBs handled Justin Jefferson and locking him down. Number 3, I feel like Mahomes got some rhythm with some of his receivers, so that's a big deal. So those are some of the things I liked coming out of this Minnesota game. Some of the other concerns I have is George Karlaftis. I know he gets praised by his high motor, but I just want to see more from George. I do. I want to see more from George Karlaftis. That's one of my biggest concerns. Hopefully versus this Denver Broncos team. Man, let me tell you, going into this Broncos game, this is got to be a get-right game where you throw Justin Ross out there, you throw Rice out there, and you have them just play the entire game and just see how much you can get the receiver. I know it's a division game and you never know with the Broncos, and they kind of always give us a fight, even though they have not beat us since Barack Obama was in office. So, again, I would love to see this Kansas City Chiefs team really just, again, get right, try to find guys get the ball, because they're playing against the worst defense in the league. Historically bad defense from the Denver Broncos. Historically bad defense from the Denver Broncos. If you guys don't believe me, let me read this up for you guys. Not only did they give up that 70 points, and they got beat by 50 points versus the Miami Dolphins. They're giving up 450 yards per game. Okay? 450 yards per game. And they've already let 32 touchdowns. 32 touchdowns in 6 games. The Kansas City Chiefs have only let up 8. And don't even get me started on their offense. They still have one of the worst offenses in the league. This Broncos team's an absolute mess. This is why I'm saying the Kansas City Chiefs have to have a game where they can go out there and build some confidence. This is a game where you really just get confidence in some of the guys who haven't particularly been playing well. MVS, Sky Moore. This is the type of game where you try to feed those guys and get them the confidence. I don't know if guys like Nick Bolton or Travis Kelce are going to play. Travis Kelce did practice today. That was some news out of today. Travis Kelce did end up practicing, so you have some good news there. If Travis Kelce there, hopefully he plays. Not more than I love to see the Kansas City Chiefs absolutely beat up on the Denver Broncos. So I'm excited. I'm really excited again to just see this game on Thursday night. Just hopefully the Chiefs this can be a get right game. Mahomes can light it up. This team can just light it up on a Denver Broncos defense that has been historically bad. Well, guys, before I get out of here, I want to make sure you guys go check out Jaden's jerseys. Go check out Jaden's jerseys, guys. If you don't want the latest, I got this Nick Bolton jersey. I need to get his new jersey. I know he switched numbers, but I got this jersey on. Make sure you guys go check it out. If you want quality jerseys like this, make sure you guys go check us out on Instagram at Jaden's_jerseys. We're going to give you the best prices for the best deals for the best quality at Jaden's jerseys. So make sure you guys go check that out. I will be back on Friday. Yes, Friday. We're going to have some big-time interviews coming up, guys. I can't release some of the names, but we're going to have some big-time interviews coming up with some former NFL players. It's going to be good. Make sure you guys stick around for that. We got a lot coming up for the TPT podcast. We're going to have weekly videos and weekly shorts coming more for you guys. The TPT podcast is going to be more full in swing this NFL season with some special guys. So make sure you guys turn on that post notification. You guys like it up. Comment below. We love when you guys do that. But I will be back on Friday to review this Denver Broncos and this Kansas City Chiefs game. I hope everyone has a great week, and go Chiefs.